And so to me, friendship is really about carrying each other's burdens. And my very simple objective is to have life-giving conversations that ease others' burdens. And that just helps me to keep friendships uncomplicated. Is that the word?
So you mentioned the word complexities a few times. So is there a story behind why you feel that friendship has a lot of complexity?
Yeah. So I have one very, very dear friend in my life, and
Only one?
Only one. Sorry, that sounded really bad. Okay, I have a friend.
Okay.
I have a friend that comes to mind when I think of the word complexity, but not in a bad way. I think that as two people grow very, very close, obviously there are going to be differences in the way that you see certain situations. That's where the complexity comes in, because I think as friends we feel like we need to always agree and that we always need to have a resolution. But sometimes friendship doesn't work that way, and sometimes both of you have to accept the fact that you both disagree on something, but that doesn't negate the love that you still have for each other and the respect. Yeah, so I think that, friendship is really about love, but with love also comes a deep respect for that person's opinions and values. And even if you guys don't agree, it's okay. It's okay to disagree. What has really, really helped me is to realize that their upbringing is completely different from mine, and the experiences that they've gone through are completely different from mine. So the things that they value will obviously look different, and some of the things that they believe will look different from the things that I value and the things that I believe. So when I put myself in this person's shoes, and I realize that if I had had their upbringing, it helps me to approach the situation from their point of view, which really helps. But it does take time to get there. I think that as friends, we shouldn't feel like we need to immediately understand or immediately empathize with our friends. We do need time to get to know them and get to understand them.
So wise.
I think great friendship is about healthy boundaries. And healthy boundaries for me recently has looked like me respecting the other person and respecting their values and their beliefs, and not trying to impose my own values and beliefs on them. Because if I'm expecting them to conform to my values and beliefs, then I'm no longer loving them as a friend.
So what if you disagree? Like, what if you disagree with your friends? Your friends' decision, or your friends' opinion about something, and the both of you just can't look say things eye to eye. Yeah. So how do we deal with that?
Oh, wow. So speaking from personal experience, I've definitely made mistakes in that area. And I don't know if this is just a girl thing where we feel like we need to just talk things out. Like we need to keep talking and talking until we can both reach a point of agreement. But I realized that talking about something and trying to reach a point of agreement over and over and over again is not necessarily healthy for the friendship. In fact, it can create a bigger rift between the both of you. I think it's really necessary for both of you, if you have a disagreement, to step back and ask yourselves, what's the objective of the friendship? Is the objective of the friendship to agree on everything, or is the objective of the friendship to love and support each other
in whatever seasons of life both of you are in. If your objective is the first objective, then I'm going to be very honest and say that that's going to be a very challenging friendship to have moving forward, because as people, we all are going to have natural points of disagreement. But if your objective is to really love and support each other, then love always seeks to find the best points of that person, and just to be grateful for that friendship and not focus on one or two or even multiple points of disagreement.
I think sometimes when friendships become so complicated, and like when there is no chance for us to talk about it. But I think sometimes we kind of like harbor some kind of hatred.
Yeah.
Because we just can't understand the person. Yeah, and like why? Yeah. And like the more we ask why,
Yes.
the more the question wouldn't be answered. Yeah. So like
That was wisdom right there. Everyone, take note of that. The why question doesn't need to be asked all the time. Yeah. We need to learn to drop our whys.
wise. Okay. Okay, so like how do we deal with that? I think like how do we deal with not having our questions answered?
Wow.
Or maybe in your experience, like in your experience, I think you have a lot of friendship experience.
As Sherilyn would do. Yeah. The first step to freedom from these very haunting why questions, and why doesn't this person appreciate me or value me as a friend in the same way that I do for them, or why doesn't this friend want this friendship to look the way that I want it to look like? The first thing is not to go to that person with your whys and demand an explanation, even though that is how we might be feeling, because that person most likely doesn't even know the answer themselves. Because every person is on a journey of self-discovery, and no one has the perfect friendship experience, because the friendship that you have with an individual is completely unique. You cannot replicate a friendship that you have with someone, with another individual. I like to call it the friendship rebound, where like if something is not working out between myself and an individual, I go and try to seek out a friendship that looks very much like the one that I had lost, but it's completely impossible. And that's a very good thing. I think it's so beautiful that two people can have a very unique relationship, and no one can ever replace that friend in your life. So instead of going to that person seeking an answer or looking for an escape through other friendships, I would say take a step back and allow yourself a season of clarity. Ask yourself, what's the objective of the friendship? Am I approaching this friendship from a very selfish place, where I'm demanding this person to meet my needs, and because they're not being met, I'm upset about it? Or are we both in a place where we both just need some space to grow and to mature? And so I think that really helps. So giving yourself time and space to clarify objectives. And I think a second thing is to talk to people that really know the both of you and value the both of you. Because sometimes when we analyze a friendship over and over again from our own point of view, it's very, very limited. We're not seeing that person from the right perspective, and maybe we're not even seeing ourselves from the right perspective. But someone who is standing at a different vantage point that loves and respects both of you will have objective advice. This is not to say to go to that person and gossip. Gossiping and complaining is only going to multiply the resentment that you already feel. And that's just not necessary. Just drop that, because your purpose is to heal and for the friendship to be better, not to move forward in the friendship and not to take steps backward. So it's much easier said than done, but I guarantee you that there will be good people in your life that you can talk to. And if this person doesn't know your other friend very well, that's okay too. Maybe this person is just someone that is close to you in your life. At the right time, you can sit down with them and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Can you give me that person's perspective? Do you think you could understand what this person is feeling? And how can I grow from this disagreement or conflict that we've had, and not grow bitter but better?
So good.
How do you take the first step into being a friend to someone, like maybe someone that you meet for the first time? Yeah.
Drop the expectations. If you are about to head into a new friendship with someone, ask yourself, am I expecting this person to fulfill X, Y, and Z? If I am, then I really need to take a step back and say, you know what? This person is way too valuable to simply be there to meet some of my needs. Yeah, so drop your expectations, because then you'll be able to really enjoy that person for who they are, and you won't be thrown off if they react a certain way that doesn't fit your nice box of expectations. You'll love them as they are, and I think when you really love people as they are, that's when you really start to enjoy the friendship. Yeah, and that's when you really can be yourself too. Yeah. Because if they love you, if you love them without expectations, chances are they'll love you with no expectations. And to be loved with no expectations is the best feeling ever. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for answering my question.
No problem. And can I just say that I'm still learning to love people without expectations. I think with every friendship, we move closer and closer, and I've definitely made mistakes. And I think the biggest mistake I made was going into friendships expecting them to expecting them to treat me a certain way. And I'm not saying that you remain in a friendship where you're being abused in any way. No, it doesn't. Loving someone without expectations doesn't give them the license or the right to run all over you, and then you're simply supposed to just keep remaining in the friendship and accepting them for who they are. I mean, you respect and you love them, but you can disagree with the way that they're treating you, and you can excuse yourself from friendships that are not life-giving for you anymore. Yeah. And you do it not from a place of resentment, but you do it from a place of hoping that one day this person will love themselves enough to not abuse another human being. Because a lot of times abuse stems from a person not loving themselves and actually abusing themselves internally, and so it just naturally spills over.
Okay, so talking about expectation, how do you actually drop the expectation? When I think when you love, right? For some reason, when you love, somehow you have little expectation. I think it's a part of it. So how do you drop it?
Yeah. So there is a difference between healthy and unhealthy expectations, and it's very good to have healthy expectations of the friends in your life. Expectations like honesty, trust, vulnerability. Yeah. But unhealthy expectations are things like expecting this person to always know how to love you in every moment. Yeah, sometimes, we all speak different love languages, and we come from different experiences, and we show our love in different ways. Yeah, so I think what helps me to drop unhealthy expectations off of others is when I realize that first,
I imagine if they were to expect the same things of me, how I would feel, and I know I wouldn't like it. So really treating others the way you would want to be treated is so important. And number 2 is recognizing that we're all imperfect. So when I think back to mistakes that I have made in past friendships, it really humbles me, and I realize that I cannot expect things of people that I myself have not been able to fulfill. Yeah. So I think friendship is a very humbling experience. Yeah, we're all not perfect, and therefore we cannot expect perfection from others, but we can all learn from our mistakes, and that's where forgiveness becomes a part of the equation in friendship. Yeah, forgiveness is actually a very necessary part of friendship, and we think that a friendship is irreconcilable, but the answer is really to forgive. And when both parties are ready to lay down their unhealthy expectations and start afresh with healthy expectations, it's a great place. It's a great place to begin again. We always think of loss as a very bad thing, but loss can create opportunities for new friendships, which really happened to me.